So last night, I sat down I didn't sit down, I got up and went in the kitchen, decided time to make some dinner, and Jack and my dad, making some dinner for them. Stuffed tortellini shells with some andouille sausage, just a nice little Italian bake, a little Parmesan cheese on top of it, and I'm making you hungry back there, aren't I? So, but I didn't order it, I made it. I'm a good cook, Adele, so. But I made this, but before I had to do all that, I looked in the refrigerator and had a few leftovers, okay? So I decided I needed to get rid of the leftovers. And so I went to the sink. I said, I'm just going to put them down the garbage disposal. So I was scraping all the pans, putting it down there, and I was just thinking that was the easy way out, right? And so I started doing that, and the water was running, and I turned my back because I was doing something else in the kitchen, and I looked, and the sink was half full. And I'm like, no, it clogged up. And so I decided I needed to do something. So, I got the old plunger and started plunging that, and nothing, And I had a thing of liquid plumber and thought, well, I'm going to use the liquid plumber. I pour that in there. Nothing. I mean, it was just getting me so frustrated. So I went through all that liquid plumber. Then I ran up to the store. I grabbed 2 more bottles of liquid plumber and thought, I'll keep pouring that in there, and hopefully it will just open up the floodgates and it'll all be fine. Well, 4 hours later, I figured out that none of the liquid plumber was going to work. I had to get my snake out, okay? And I had to go underneath the sink, all right? And I had to, undo the plugs or the pipes and everything and get in there and snake it out. And that's not something I enjoy doing. This body is not made to crawl underneath the sink, okay? It's not, all right? It's not what my chosen profession was going to be, but I had to figure it out. After trying and trying, I think I went in there 4 times with that snake and got it as far as I could and pulled it out, then hooked it back up, turned the water on, saw it running. Oh, then it started to rise again. Well, finally, it broke through, and finally, it was flowing just right, okay? Now, what does this have to do with anything with this gospel or this message today? Probably nothing, but I thought maybe you'd feel sorry for me this morning, and say, oh, that poor deacon, There you go. But I guess I just started to think about this in terms of just my prayer and reflection this morning. And, a lot of times we want to take that easy way out. And a lot of times we put the wrong things in. And all that does is it clogs up our life. Sometimes it's those poor decisions, those poor choices. Now, these Pharisees in this gospel, they want a sign from Jesus. They want an answer. They want an answer right now. This is the way it's going to be. We talk about the promise in the Hebrew Scriptures, the Old Testament. What's the fulfillment of that? Give us the answer right now. We want a sign. And Jesus is really saying, you know what? There's really not going to be a sign. You just have to stay on this path, and you just have to do that right thing and make those right choices, and guess what? You will get to where that fulfillment is. It's hard because sometimes we just want that easy way out. But I can tell you, though, that those wrong choices and decisions, that sin in our life, it can make us, it can harden us. And it can create something inside of us that really makes our life difficult, much like in the first reading in Genesis, between Cain and Abel and that story. We don't want that to destroy us. Don't take the easy way out. Follow the path that Christ has set for us, that God has set for us. We're going to fall. It's going to happen. It might take a little bit of work. It might take a little bit of an uncomfortable situation. But eventually you'll unplug, and you will unclog, and it will flow right again. But always just keep focused in the right direction. I think that's what's important. There's no easy sign. The simple sign is just, guess what? Follow him and listen to him, and we'll get there.